All right, hello, welcome back, fellow CEOs. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Madelyn, and she's going to share with us a few marketing strategies to turn your clients or your prospects into cheerleaders. Okay, and so I'm going to give you a little background on how I met Madelyn. She was actually in Holly Haynes Selective Co-op. We met a few months ago, and we actually have worked together in a few capacities. So it's really fun to be able to have her on the podcast today. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her so she can introduce herself because no one is better at introducing themselves than themselves. So go ahead and take it away.
Thanks so much for having me, Carolee. I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, so I'm Madelyn Victoria. I'm a marketing strategist and website designer. So I help small businesses create show-it websites and engaging social media content so they can turn their leads into sales. So I'm all about like creating a standout website and social media so my clients can show up online with confidence.
Oh, I love that because we all need a little bit more confidence, right? Being an entrepreneur is you definitely you end up having that in the end somehow. We get there, right?
Exactly.
so,
Yes.
So the question I have for you, because I was curious about this, and it's like, what does it actually mean to turn your clients or even your leads eventually into your cheerleaders of your business? Like, what can it do for your business?
Yeah, so this is just like intentionally prioritizing the customer journey and learning, what would serve them best. And when people feel like excited about your business, like that's where the magic happens. So it kind of comes down to this concept of unreasonable hospitality that I actually heard about from a book. It's by the same name, it's by Will Guidara, and it's truly like just an amazing book. And so there's a quick example like I wanted to share from the book because it just like flipped my whole business on its head and just like has helped me scale and grow and just really dig into this cheerleader client concept. So in the book, the author Will was running 11 Madison Park, which is this super like nice restaurant in New York. It's like the fine dining experience. And he overheard a table of guests talk about how despite going to, all the best restaurants in New York, they hadn't had time to get like a regular, just like New York hot dog from just like a cart on the street. And so Will ran outside to a nearby cart after he heard them and like convinced the chef of their restaurant, 11 Madison Park's restaurant, to just like serve this hot dog. And so he delivered it to the table of tourists and they were absolutely stunned. Like they couldn't believe like, that Will had gone out and got a hot dog for them. And it was just like such an emotional reaction. I mean, it was literally $2, but it absolutely made their night. They couldn't stop talking about it. It was just like a really exciting thing for them. So it's sort of this concept of like going above and beyond, like in your business and just, figuring out how you can be unreasonable in your hospitality as well. And when I started my business, I asked myself, well, why would someone want to work with me as a website designer or help them with their marketing when there's plenty of other people out there? Like, what sets me apart from the rest? And so I thought about this for a while and like sort of came to the conclusion that when businesses genuinely put their customers first and like care about them, it not only boosts like their business's reputation, but it's like a marketing strategy in and of itself. It opens the door for like referral programs and user generated content and improves like client retention and so much more. So yeah, it opens so many more doors.
So what you're saying is taking or going a little bit of an extra mile can actually have some a domino effect down the road.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that. I try to do that myself. So hopefully I actually do that too. But so really understanding the customer journey is going to be really important there. Right?
Yes. Yes. And we can kind of like dig into like the strategies for that too. There's kind of like 3 components for that. I kind of say like it's organization, personalization, and going the extra mile. So those are like the 3 components of the customer journey that I've focused on.
Okay. All right. We'll dig into that in just a moment. But before we do that, what do you think is actually the biggest thing standing in the way of these business owners to being able to bring their clients and making them into cheerleaders?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that stands in the way is not painting your clients as the hero and yourself as the guide in your messaging and marketing. So a lot of times, like if you go to someone's social media or their website, they are talking all about themselves and their business. And I mean, it's natural. People, want to share like how their business got its origins or things like that. But when your client comes to your website or their social media, they are asking themselves, okay, how does this help me? And so when you are, whether it's like coming up with your messaging or, making social media posts for your marketing, you want to ask like, okay, how can I make the client a hero in this scenario? How can I put them first and just like promote them, not like yourself, but yeah, just figure out how you can best serve them. And another thing, stands in the way of our clients becoming our biggest cheerleaders is when people only focus on fulfilling the services. So they don't go the extra mile. They don't, see how they can fulfill the client's like biggest expectations. They just like very much stay in the box and they're like, okay, well, I did exactly what I was supposed to do, but they didn't try to serve them in any other way or help them in any other way. So I would say those are like the two biggest things that stand in the way.
So what I pulled from that and making it into a sentence would be like, you really have to create the experience, not just move through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot more succinct than what I said. Yeah, exactly.
No, but you gave way more details than that sentence would give. But like to sum it up is like really creating that experience for your clients and not just checking the boxes, right? And so I think that like I honestly, in the beginning of my business, I probably was the latter. I was just checking the boxes. But now that I feel really confident in what I provide, it has become a lot easier to create that journey because you're not second guessing yourself every 2 minutes, right?
So
do you
true.
have that as your
Yes.
experience? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. In the beginning, like we're all so new. And so we're just trying to figure everything out. And once we get a little bit more experience, I feel like that's when we can really devote some time to looking at things objectively from like a business standpoint. And then also like taking time to put ourselves in our client's shoes and figuring out like what would best serve them or what would make the experience even better. So yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah, it's insane. I've definitely had this as a goal of mine. Like, I want some cheerleaders. I feel like I have a few cheerleaders, which is super awesome. But it's always the goal to have like a little bit more of those rock stars in your circle because those are the people that are going to promote you and refer you without expecting anything in return. So I feel like that's also a huge thing, right? So what are some of the strategies you would give our listeners to actually start moving toward, this process of really creating that experience and having these cheerleaders backing them up?
Yeah. So there is, and I know I mentioned this like just for a second earlier, but it's organization, personalization, and going the extra mile are like the three components that I really pay attention to. So on the organizational side, you laugh at me all you want. Like I know, Carolee, you appreciate this, but I love like all things organization and planning. I just think it's really fun. I nerd out a little bit. And so even though you wouldn't think like maybe at first thought that organization plays a big role in turning your clients into cheerleaders, it really does because it shows that you respect your clients, you respect their time and their business. And I mean, you can't plan for everything. I certainly wish that you could. That'd be really nice. But you can exactly. But you can be as prepared as possible. You can establish a clear communication plan with your clients up front. You can make SOPs and checklists. I love a checklist. So you know exactly like what the process looks like. You can streamline your work. You can automate things. I love Calendly. And then like from a content perspective, I love Metricool. And Carolee, you've taught me like a lot about streamlining and just like SOPs and like all the things. I can't tell you. You've like saved my butt a couple of times, just helping me like organize. Yeah. So that is definitely like organization for sure is like the first component to that.
I love that. I definitely, obviously, this was a Streamlined CEO podcast, which means we talk all about streamlining things behind the scenes, but I don't really talk about the marketing component of how that can honestly help you with marketing and your messaging, but also having really good client experience. So I'm really glad that we've had this conversation. It's a great value. So I'm totally going to have to talk about it more though. So, all right. So you're on to your second one. What was the second one?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So the second one is personalization. So I mean, when you go to your favorite coffee shop, who like else loves it when they remember like your go-to order? Like I certainly do. I think it makes me feel like, special and like I belong. And I don't know, it makes me smile like when they remember something as small as my coffee order. So it's kind of like translating this feeling to your business. So it's going beyond the surface level and getting to know your clients. You can surprise clients with an unexpected and like kind gesture. So this could be like a handwritten note thanking them for their business, or, a birthday card each year, or even just remembering to follow up with something that they told you. Like one of my clients, she recently, we were emailing and she mentioned that her husband was in the hospital. And so, just remembering to like check in with her later just to see how he was doing, and, send like kind thoughts and kind words her way. And again, it's something small. It's something that, you would do for a friend. But I think when you bring that sort of like personalization and intentionality into a client relationship, it just really, it makes a difference for sure.
Ooh, so this is something that I need to do. Do you send out like questionnaires so you like know what they like or things like that? Does
You
that help?
can. I have a couple of clients who do that. Like one of my clients, on her initial, like they have a wedding venue. And so on their like questionnaire, when they onboard like a bride, they have like a blank for her coffee order. And so like, or a question for her coffee order. And so they'll have that like waiting for her, like when she gets to the wedding venue, like the morning of. So, I mean, you can do it like that. I definitely think a questionnaire for like, other things, like to see what they like, that's a really good idea. I like that. I'm going to have to write that down for myself. But normally, like for me, I just, put together something that I think would be helpful for them in their business, or like, maybe some branded stuff, or, things like that.
I love that. So it can be personalized, like branded to your own business. And that, I mean, I love getting branded stuff.
Yeah,
Like I
I do
seriously love
too.
it. I'm actually wearing a hat for someone that this is branded. So like, it's a lot of fun to do it that way. I love that. This is such a great conversation. So much fun. And so what was your third one? Because, my brain goes blank when I'm interviewing someone. And so, and you're the expert here. So
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. So the third one is going the extra mile. So this ties in a lot with personalization. And I know we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think this like deserves its own like, conversation as well. So one thing that I have done with my past clients and then continue to do with current clients is just reaching out randomly to see if there's anything extra that I can do. People are so grateful, like when you go the extra mile. And I've seen this time and time again, like not only in my business, but in my clients' business as well. And then it's like anticipating their needs. So if, like I mentioned earlier, the client that I was working with who had a husband who was in the hospital, I knew that she had a lot on her that week. And so I tried to, just like tweak our schedule just a little bit. So maybe, she wasn't approving content that week, but like I pushed it to the next week, or, worked around her schedule a little bit just because I knew there was so much going on. So just like anticipating their needs and just trying to be, I guess like going the extra mile in that way makes a difference as well. And then this kind of goes without saying, but doing like an amazing job when you are working with someone, like, again, I know this is very basic, but when you do a great job, it really speaks for itself. And I know like when I've worked with people, if I've really enjoyed working with them, I'm going to go tell like my other friends as well, like, if their business served me and I got a lot from it and I really enjoyed like the whole client experience, like I'm for sure going to go tell, my other business friends, because like I want them to, have the transformation as well. So yeah, definitely going the extra mile is the third part of that.
All right, so I have another question for you.
Okay.
So, how, if we wrap this all together, all the things that you said today, how does this ultimately help you with the actual marketing and even the sales part? Because they kind of, they're intertwined essentially. Like, how does this really help you with the marketing and sales? Make it simpler.
Yeah. So, I mean, for one, it helps with referral programs. I mean, this is probably like the top like marketing strategy that emerges from this and like comes out of this, because when you do prioritize the customer journey, they're excited to tell their friends or, other people that they come across about you. It also helps with like user generated content. So, okay, so for example, like the collective co-op that we're in with Holly Haynes, I love sharing about that on social media. Like I, get so excited, like sharing about like our office hour calls or peer pods, things like that. It's because I genuinely enjoy it. And it's because like I know she cares like about me as an individual and like as a business owner. And so yeah, that like those two things for sure. And then just like another sort of component of this, when you are collecting testimonials, whether that's like, you're in the middle of working with someone or you are finishing your time with them and you reach out to ask them for a testimonial, if you prioritize the customer journey and they really like felt like they were very valued, then they're going to, be more inclined to write like a really good testimonial and be excited to write that as well. So yeah, definitely from a marketing perspective, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I think because then other people are sharing about you as a human being, but also your business, which inclines them to go, oh, I should probably go take an extra look. So I love that. This has been fantastic. So let's say someone wants to, connect with you, learn more about you, your offers, all those things. How can they connect with you further?
Yeah, so I know we've covered a lot, but I'm super passionate about attracting your ideal customers through marketing. So instead of worrying about like, oh, I need to post 17 times a day on social media or send out, 100 emails, which I know are extreme examples, I created a guide to really help you connect with potential clients and be profitable while doing it. So just go to madelynvictoriaco.com/visibility to check it out.
All right, awesome. And do you have Instagram? Can they connect with you
Yes.
anywhere
Yeah.
on actual social too?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram at Madelyn Victoria Co.
All right, perfect. All right, this has been amazing. I hope our listeners will go and grab that resource that you shared with us and, be able to really get this nice firm plan with marketing and social media because marketing is really more than just social media. That was definitely something I learned very quickly. So, all right. Well, until next time, everyone, have an amazing rest of your day.